the NHS, the way it is trying to kill me. Hi pals, I just need a vent slash a rant. I'm just so over the NHS again. Like I can't get anywhere with any of my health issues because there's always something that comes up, something in the way, more bureaucracy, more appointments that I can't have for several months before anything can be done to help me. Now, this video specifically has been triggered by getting a phone call on the way home from getting my recent COVID booster from the GP practice saying that they've had a response from the assessment and treatment team who I was referred to for my sleep problems and wanting to try melatonin because I think I've tried numerous sleep drugs over the years. And to be honest, most of them you're not allowed to repeatedly have courses of. But also, there's studies that show a lot of them don't work as well for ADHD autistics or anyone who's just ADHD and just autistic. So the email said that they think I should try different sleep medications instead because melatonin doesn't have a high likelihood of actually helping or working unless somebody has tried it before and found it has worked. How will I know if it works for me or not when I've never tried it before? But they won't let you try it unless you've tried it before and it's worked. And now I've got to have a GP appointment to talk about this email. But because it's just a normal, routine thing, there is no rush to be seen or spoken to about this. The irony of the assessment team not wanting to assess me, for one, pisses me off. But then, yeah, having to see a GP to talk about this email. So I asked to see the one GP that I like and trust, or at least like have a phone call appointment because he's too far away. I'm not going to go there. And yes, good. Luckily, they can book me in with him, but it's not for over a month. When I'm recording this is the 4th of April, and I'm not going to speak to this man until the 8th of May. So that is over a month's further delay on top of the previous delays of this issue, where he contacted Psychiatry UK about this, and I just had that appointment and didn't bring up the melatonin because I was waiting for this other referral through assessment and treatment team. So I've missed that opportunity to even ask about it. And then we've had to chase both Psychiatry UK for the appointment I needed anyway, but also the GP practice for these referrals. My support worker from an autistic charity had to chase them numerous times because a different GP marked her email as no action required. So he wasn't going to do fuck all for the fact of I am once again experiencing sleep problems and I'm a reasonably suitable candidate for melatonin. This is why people self-diagnose and self-treat, because you literally cannot get to a doctor, and half the time when you can, they're just shit at their job. They don't give a shit about their patients that they're supposed to be taking care of and helping. And that's just one of numerous things going on recently as well. I don't really talk a whole lot about my health stuff on here so much anymore. I'll usually talk about maybe one particular topic or have a bit of an overall update on one of my health conditions. But generally, I've kind of decided to stop talking about this as much because it's mostly this. It's mostly lots of little irritating things putting off my care repeatedly. My allergy appointment that was meant to be mid to late May has been cancelled, so we know somebody's going on holiday. And that's not to say I don't think doctors should have holidays. I do think that they deserve a break, obviously. That goes without saying. But you just know when it's a holiday. Because, like I said, currently it is the 4th of April. How do you know you're going to be off unless it's for a holiday or like maybe a conference or something like that. It's probably a holiday. And then they rebooked it for end of October, which is like nearly a year since I had my first appointment with them. And it really sucks because I was hoping in May we would be discussing their hay fever and the hay fever induced asthma he thinks I have, and being referred for tests and things like that. But no, I have to suffer through another spring, summer, not having a clue what's going on with my hay fever, not knowing if actually maybe I do have a type of asthma that they just can't like test for very well in a GP practice. And like that one was a minute annoyance. But that's again not the only thing either. I had a blood test semi recently. For one, I picked up a really old blood form. So I accidentally got tested for something that I really didn't need to be tested for.
Well, turns out actually that test was useful. After seeing my rheumatologist, my local rheumatologist, who I now will never see ever again because she's retired, she said that it showed that I am not on a high enough dose of azathioprine, which maybe is why I was really ill the other week, because I've been slowly coming off of my steroids and my inflammation has been going up. So I suppose that was the one good thing of something that I'm pretty sure I did on accident. I don't think I did that on purpose. I don't think anyone did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure it was me using an old blood form. But it provided reason to up my azathioprine dose. I don't know if that's being tested again. I have no idea if that's being tested again. I have to do another blood test in a month's time from when I had that blood test. No, from when I upped the dose. God knows.
So that was my bad. Also, she took too much blood. She doubled up on the blood tubes for the same tests for the two departments. I don't know why she's done that. She's never done that before. So I had 5 tubes taken from me for no reason. I really only needed 3. No idea why that happened. And that was hurting my arm. Just having that experience, the longer it was stuck in my arm and the more blood was being sucked from me. So that blood test was all done and sent off. I got the results back and some of my blood work is not looking great. My ESR is up, my CRP is up a bit more, my ALT, which is my liver tests, is up again as well, is a little bit over, I don't know, whatever it is, the threshold, what the fuck ever. And like I've been told by my Takayasu specialist last October, I think, to keep an eye on my CRP levels because that could be a sign that my Takayasu's is going to start flaring again. And like obviously we want to avoid that. That's why I'm tapering so slowly from my steroids. Trying to get any information from their team makes me want to unalive myself. Like I swear to God. So I sent an email to their secretary team just explaining like I was told to keep an eye on these things. Also my local rheumatologist, like I'm seeing her soon, but this will be my last appointment with her ever. She's retiring. So I don't really see a whole lot of points bringing up too many things to her in this final appointment. But I might have to. So yeah, I explained that she's retiring soon. So there's not really anybody here that can like monitor this for long. Like it will be somebody different and I don't know how much they will know about Takayasu's. And I brought that up at the last appointment. Like I would appreciate more support from this team, the specialist team, for me and whoever comes after my current local rheumatologist. Like I said, because I don't know what their background is, don't know what their training is, how much they know about Takayasu's. I don't know if there's going to be a proper handover. I don't know who it's going to be. Like I still know none of that information. So that's why I'm emailing the specialist team. I sent screenshots of the 3 test results I just mentioned and said, you know, I don't really feel any different. I feel relatively the same, besides the fact that I'm now having migraine flare-ups again, which I think is mainly because of the change of season. Again. I hate it here. So yeah, I sent the images, explained that I, haven't had bad liver results in the entire year since I started my azathioprine. This is the first time my liver results have been bad. I don't know why they would be bad. Apparently there's lots of reasons why your liver results might flare up and look kind of bad, and I don't know which one it is. I don't think I like, if I'm ill or if I've got a virus, then it's a very mild one that I don't have any symptoms of, because that's one of the things that always gets brought up every time my ALT results are, a little bit higher. And like there's a few other things as well. I've started to wonder, do I have like non-alcoholic fatty liver or something, or is this like the early stages of that developing? Because I do have numerous risk factors for that. The typical being overweight, for one. I have an underactive thyroid, which makes you more likely to get whatever the fuck this is again.
I don't smoke like I used to smoke, but like I still smoke a little ciggy here and there. So like that's another one.
And there were a couple of other things too. But like I also read, I didn't actually fully read this, so if I can remember to use my brain and link it in the description, I will. But I saw a study that showed that actually vitamin D could help with fatty liver. I don't know if it was the same study or a different one, but also showed that actually you might be more likely to develop fatty liver disease, whatever the hell you want to call it, if you have like chronic inflammation. Me, that's me. So there may be even just a general higher likelihood of me developing that, just literally because I have numerous health conditions that all cause chronic inflammation. I love it here so much. I can't wait. No idea. And also, a lot of medications can just not sit well with your liver, or even supplements. And I have been trying to take my supplements more. I'm still not great at it. So now I'm sort of like, should I stop taking my supplements? Because I've been trying to take my supplements more because, like, you guys know, I don't have a great diet because I really struggle with my Crohn's limiting a lot of food groups, and then also autism making it hard to eat lots of foods with weird textures mainly, and also occasionally also the taste is like a secondary pummy thing. But now it's like, well, maybe that's a thing. And also I think it was the same study as well that mentioned chronic inflammation having a link to insulin resistance, which isn't that like also connected to half the other things I've been talking about anyway. So who knows? I'm starting a different treatment anyway as well, which should be helping with inflammation, but I've literally only just started, which I also mentioned to them. And yeah, I was just like, I just want someone to have a look, have a chat with me or reply, whatever. The first reply said that none of the attached images were there. I could still see them. So I just sent them in like text format, which I've done in the past, and they said, no, we can't have that. We can't accept that. You need to tell your GP to send them to us. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. You've got my GP contact. You're the one being paid to do this job as a fucking secretary. Am I being paid? Are you paying me to do that? Because if you are, then sure, I'll fucking do it. But like, I'm not doing that. That's your job. Yeah, you've got the contacts. And then also, I mentioned in my original email too that I saw my MRA had like a little like report update saying that everything looked fine compared to my last MRA as well. So I mentioned like, oh, the MRA looks good too, which was, only done in January. So, nothing has really changed since January to now. I stopped titrating. No, that's not it. Tapering. Being in the midst of tapering off of one medication and titrating onto another, and they both begin with a T, fucking me. I stopped tapering down on my steroids a bit before the MRA, I think. So I've been on, actually no, it might have been a bit after the MRA, but either way, like I stopped at 3.5 milligrams of prednisolone because I wanted to make sure my bloods were okay, because my last bloods before this one was showing a little bit of inflammation in my CRP levels, and they've crept up a little bit more since then as well. Hopefully it's just that I have now been dealing with migraines. Maybe that's an inflammation thing. I have no idea. Nobody cares about those either. Nobody cares. I have no idea what causes my migraines. Nobody wants to look. And I don't have the will to try and deal with another referral or another doctor or another team. I don't have the will. So yeah, back to what I was saying anyway. So yeah, they were telling me to go and tell my GP practice to send them blood test results that they absolutely can email them for if they want to, but also they've had no problem with me sending them like that in the past. Make up your fucking minds. But then also they said, oh, can you get them to send the MRA to us? Can you send the MRA to us? Because we don't have it. And I'm like, you are taking the piss. Like, you have their fucking contact details. We went through this last time where you were clearly emailing the wrong fucking email address for my local rheumatology team. Like, you remember that video? I made that video earlier this year, which was like from the end of last year, that I chased for 8 weeks about booking an MRA because the fucking London team was emailing the wrong email to ask my local team to book an MRA for me. And then I had loads of issues with the MRA itself and trying to actually get it for a time that I could go. Stupid. I hate everybody. And like, they're saying that they don't have it. My local team said, we're still waiting for the London team to review it and send us the report. So I was like, they've literally said that they're waiting for you to review it. So if you don't have it, you can go and talk to them about it. Again, not my job. Like, you are taking the piss. Like, are you joking? I actually went and vented about it on one of the Takayasu's Facebook groups, because I know a lot of people are under that team. And I was like, is anybody else under this team having this problem? And apparently a lot of people are having this problem, and it's actually taking the piss. Like, it is genuinely taking the piss. You literally have paid staff not doing their jobs and expecting the patients to do it. One person replied saying that they just are always prepared and always have everything and send everything over. I'm like, they can go fuck themselves. I've got enough to do. I don't just have Takayasu's wrong with me for a start. I've got a lot of shit wrong with me. I'm not doing this for every single fucking person. But also another person replied being like, yeah, they do that to me all the time, but I'm not playing that game. I was like, yeah, me neither, mate. Me neither, mate. Tried to book my COVID jab at my GP practice. They didn't think I qualified again, even though I received the contacts like email, text message saying it's time for the spring boosters. Because again, my age, everyone thinks because I'm 30 that I don't get to qualify, even though I'm on 3 immunosuppressive medications. We did book in with them, but then I was like, we might be able to book in with one of the local pharmacies, and actually they might let other family members of mine who don't technically quite qualify right now get their jabs. So that's where we were today, and they did let my mum get her jab, which is another thing that I just don't understand about this whole qualifying system. Because it's like, you know, yes, the people who are ancient and the people who are on immunosuppressive medications, yeah, but also they live with people, whether it's their partner, family members, children, carers. Those people should also be allowed to get vaccines or boosters or whatever at the same time as the people who are immunocompromised, because it just makes fucking sense. And it's not like people are rushing to go and get their boosters anymore. Like, you can just let it go, you know? And yeah, like, the guy we saw was very chill. I think we will start going there instead, because as well, like, the way he sort of put it was like, you know, I'm not gonna question you. I'm not going to ask for proof. Some places are asking and expecting proof. I'm not going to do that because, like, that's not really how I go. I'm here to help, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that you are. You're here to help. So if someone's at a pharmacy or the GP practice wanting the COVID booster, they should be given it. Like, people are not able to access these boosters when they want them because they don't come under half of these, like this one category. And then, like, they're not really just generally readily available after that. Like, I know they say, oh, we're starting with the most vulnerable, but then they just, I don't hear them saying, hey, everybody, they're open. It's a free for all now. Come get your jabs. No. Also, this is a side note for the Americans. I do remember reading earlier in the pandemic that jab is like an anti-vax, like dog whistle in America. In the UK, that it's just like we just call them jabs. It's not an anti-vax thing. It's just our slang. We call them jabs. We call them vax, vaccines, whatever. So, I mean, you should gather that I'm not anti-vax by what I've just been ranting about. But yeah, just as a side note, in case anybody decides not to understand context I've provided already, because that happens a lot, especially on the internet at the moment. I think it's probably COVID rotting everyone's brains. So get your COVID jabs if you can. So yeah, all of those things are going on. I've just had my ADHD like yearly check-in. I'm being referred to the titration service. I have no idea when I'm going to like start titrating. Hopefully soon, but it could be months. We literally have no idea. And as well, he was talking about what my options were.
Ignore the fact that I'm in my dressing gown. I am cold. But also, I've realised recently, really, I probably should have been trialling with lower doses of the same medication first, because the medication did work, but it was causing side effects that I haven't really had in the same way since I kind of stopped taking them regularly. I've been on it today and I've been completely fine all round. I've not had any allergy reactions, I've not had any facial flushing, I've not been sweating, none of that. But I got really sweaty on Friday when I was up doing things, so like maybe really I should have gone down in my dose. The way that Psychiatry UK works makes doing stuff like that almost impossible, because you can't just go, oh, hey, psychiatrist man, can we try lowering or like try lower doses instead until we get to a point where clearly the dose is no longer causing these side effects, and see if it's still working for my brain enough. Because it's a whole other team that does the titration and dosing and stuff. It's really irritating.
We're going to try Vyvanse next. I'll probably do like a proper full video again when I'm going down the titrating route and like re-explain it all there. But just as like this is my medical ranting vent video, I might as well express it here as well. So yeah, we're going to try Vyvanse next. I am a bit concerned that I will still be crazy sweaty on that. I'm also like I'm a little bit like suspicious that the methylphenidate I was on before was also worsening some of my facial allergy reactions, because my face has chilled out a lot since being off of them. Like, I still get a bit here and there, and I get it on other parts of my body and stuff, but like that's super weird to me, and I don't think it is talked about. I need to go on a deep dive at some point. But being off of my meds, my brain doesn't work. I don't remember how I functioned off of medication. However, like, I took a dose today and I was pouring sweat, like to the point that I had to change my underwear today. So it's like, like two terrible things are like two sides of the coin. It's all bad. And I'm also a bit concerned that Vyvanse will be too longer lasting, because I changed from an extended release medication for the methylphenidate before to a slightly like less extended release that was more around 5 to 6 hours per dose. And that suited me a lot more, because I could have like a shorter productive day, especially if my sleep has not been great. Which it still is. It's still bad, obviously. But then, yeah, the other option as well is a non-stimulant. But the one he mentioned, I always forget how. I don't have anything on me to look it up, so I'll have to like correct myself in editing, but it's the one that begins with A. It's an SNRI. Can't remember. Like every time I want to go, every time I want to say it, I want to say amoxicillin. Obviously, it's not that. It is obviously not amoxicillin. But yeah, it begins with an A. I remember Helen Anderson was on it when she was first diagnosed with ADHD, and I was open to it. But after the appointment, I looked into it and looked into its interactions with other drugs, and actually, there's quite a few interactions with like some of my hardcore drugs, like my adalimumab and my azathioprine, which are my immunosuppressive meds. That, and also it's in the same family of medication as, again, another one I can't really pronounce, venlafaxine, something like that. A lot of my friends are on it, and like whilst it helps a lot of them with their like depression and anxiety and shit, it's horrific to try and get off of. And it's one of those medications that you do have to continually take. And also, it still raises your blood pressure and heart rate, which I think is part of what the problem has been with like the facial flushing and like allergy stuff, is that because it's raising my blood pressure and my heart rate and my body temperature, it's triggering those things a lot more. So I don't think I want to be on that one. Like obviously there's like, when you Google it, there's 4 that come up. 2 of them are SNRIs, so like basically some kind of antidepressant, and then 2 of them are blood pressure pills. I want one of those. I want to try those instead, because my blood pressure is still verging on like high normal. Because rewind this video, and that's my life always. So yeah, like I think it could also at least benefit me in other ways for my health. But my psychiatrist said that there's only about a 50% chance of those, like the non-stimulant medication from even working at all, which is honestly like really off-putting. I thought a lot more people were having like a better time, but apparently not. Like I've got an internet friend who's on one of the like blood pressure ones. I think it's guanafashine or something like that. Again, these all have wild names, and they're finding it really good and helpful. So I don't know. He did say that my GP could prescribe a medication to like for the excessive sweating if the other meds are not helping, and I basically need to go back to a methylphenidate. But again, I don't know how likely it would be for them to do that. I might need them to like actually put it in writing and send it to the GP practice. Who knows? Also, my brand of adalimumab has been changed finally, after receiving several letters telling me it will be. They finally have done it. And they didn't give me any warning that the pen mechanics were different to the pens that I've had before, which have been like you can sort of put it in place and then press the button when you're ready. No, these ones are just ones that you just press down and then it goes. So I had a really bad mishap with one of them where I didn't realize that's how it worked. It made a big, the really loud clicking noise, scared the shit out of me. So I stabbed myself with it. But because it scared me so much, I sort of like pulled away and the medication went everywhere. If anybody else is on biologic medications, especially the injections, you know how expensive those are. Even biosimilars. So I know I got nothing in my system. So I did it again. You're not supposed to, but like I'm very sure it all went on my kitchen floor, because when I pulled it away entirely, it just all poured on the floor, and I had the teeniest, tiniest, like little prick mark with no medication seeping out, which is usually like the gist. I'll usually have a little bit of like the medication and blood seeping out after I do an injection. So that was great. That was great. I love my life. If anybody has a cure for Crohn's disease or Takayasu's, that'll be sick. Like, you can take my fucking pip, man. I will gladly give up my fucking benefits to not be this disabled and to not live this fucking life. Because, like, I can't. I can't. So, yeah, There's all that, and then also still medical related, but private medical related. Because my migraines have been coming back again recently, I've been looking again at Botox. Been trying to find somewhere more local than London that provides Botox for like pain relief, pain management, because basically none of them do. And to receive Botox for any purposes outside of aesthetics, you need to have a particular license, or something like that. There's basically certain things that they have to do to be allowed to inject for pain related things. There's this one place that's always been recommended in some of like the Brighton Facebook groups, and they do some injections for like headaches, and other like health related things. So I sent them an email and asked a bit more about it. Unfortunately, they don't go all the way down to like the traps, or like neck, but they will do the muscles here, which I think I need, because honestly, some of these muscles in here like feel fucked. They feel fucked, and like they hurt really badly after I've been singing for a while in the car. So I think there's definitely something going on weird muscular wise that I think maybe some Botox will help. And then I think they were talking about some places over like the forehead and here and stuff for migraines. It's a bit over £500, which to be fair is not too bad. And yeah, they're Brighton based, so that's a more accessible trip for me than London. So I'm really heavily considering using some of my benefits money to go and get Botox in my face for these migraines. Because yeah, they've been really bad again. But also, I'm just wondering if in general the Botox would help with pain generally. So who knows? I'm still thinking about it. I would have to go in for a consultation in person as well, which requires planning. And then yeah, besides that, coming to like PA support stuff, I basically gave up looking for a self-employed PA. If you would like to know more about my experiences of having PAs, looking for PAs, etc., things to keep in mind, or like things you would need to become a PA, like anything along those lines, like feel free to like let me know in the comments what your like questions are. If you would like to see a video of me talking about PA related stuff, because there's definitely a lot of things that my experience has been very different to other people's. So it is different from council to council, but there are some things that are just generally going to be reasonably relevant for a lot of people across like the UK, and a lot of things could be useful to know if you're considering becoming a self-employed PA. And like I do think more people should do it. Like we're in a care crisis. We don't have anybody, self-employed or not, like it's a real struggle. So yeah, let me know if you have comments, or questions about PA related stuff. But basically I gave up looking for a self-employed PA. I interviewed 2 people. I had 3 applicants in the end. The third person never responded when I contacted them. One person didn't even have the bare minimum things you need to have to be a self-employed PA, especially through adult social care, or probably even access to work as well. And for her to get the insurance, she was adding it onto her expected hourly rate, which she then deemed as £30 an hour. And like adult social care were always super weird about my last PA, who was asking for £24 an hour. I think they would have laughed in my face if I was like, I'd like to hire this person. Like I understand covering your travel and the cost of paying for that insurance, but you also need to be somewhat realistic. So she was a no-go. The other person had pretty poor communication skills, honestly. She Like, part of the reason why I haven't yet done any kind of content on PAs is because I don't want to publicly shit on people who either have worked for me or were going to work for me, because, like, I don't know why people are like this, but it's really hard to organize anything as a neurodivergent, chronically ill person. And I had a lot of the work being done by my support worker this time, and it was still bad. Like, I think one of the main things was we exchanged phone numbers and emails, but she wouldn't stop using Facebook Messenger to contact me. I barely use Facebook. She never seemed to get any of our emails, or she wasn't checking them. And every time I asked her when she'd be available to like work, she didn't mention that she was going away several times, like more than once. She said she could start immediately, which is not true. And then she would also just say, "Oh, would you prefer a morning or afternoon time slot?" And we had that conversation like 3 times. And I was like, "No, I'm trying to work out when you're next like free so you can come to my house and I can show you around, talk you through like what I need help with, what I expect you to do, introduce you to my mum, who will also be telling you what to do sometimes, because it's like I'm either not always like necessarily like, not necessarily well enough to do all of that." And so we can like go through the contract and sign the contract together and stuff like that. And she just kept asking me what was a better time slot, and she just wouldn't give me any days and times. And then when my support worker was doing it, my support worker was suggesting a day and she couldn't do it, so she suggested a different day that I already said that I couldn't do. And it was just getting later and later and later. Like, I said that I wanted to hire her like 3 weeks ago at that point. By the time we would have even seen and spoken to her. Yeah, there were a lot of other things too, but like it's impossible. So I'm hoping that we can change those hours to be done by the autism charity that my support workers are from, because they can come and do basically those same job roles. But also I'm waiting to see slash hear whether I can use the money that's been fucking waiting and accumulating because I can't get a fucking self-employed PA, whether I can use that money to like pay for some cleaners, because we do need cleaners. My mum's been paying for our cleaners. We need some people to come and do some deep cleaning as well. Like, and that money has just been sitting there because I can't, like, people are just not reliable and not great communicating. And it's just frustrating that like there's just so many barriers to literally everything. But yeah, it's just exhausting that there's always another thing to do, and there's always another thing to do, and there's always somebody else I've got to speak to, there's always another appointment I've got to go to before I can get the thing we've been talking about for months. And like, this is what I mean by like they're trying to kill me. Like, it's just like I feel like they're trying to cause a stroke or a heart attack from the amount of stress they give me. It is so hard to access any kind of treatment at the moment. And again, I know it is not necessarily the doctors or the nurses or whoever, like the healthcare professionals' faults. Obviously, some of them, yes, because some of you are fucking assholes. But like, the system has been fucked for so long, and our current government does not give a shit. They're looking to further privatize the fucking thing, as if that's going to make any difference. And it's like, great, fantastic. So our NHS is going to be even worse. You're going to privatize it, make us pay for it, probably not improve literally anything. And it's going to be like our water or our post or any of our bills that are all now privatized. They all suck. The costs are extortionate, and they will literally not give a shit if you've got insurance or not. Like, insurance to me is made up. I mean, all of this is made up in it, but like, insurance is just another way of siphoning money out of us, because when you need to use it, they're like, you can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself. And you're just like, because My mum should be allowed to have another person on her like insurance thing, but I'm not allowed on that because I am over the age of, I don't even remember what the age was, 25 maybe, and I'm her child. I'm not her partner, but my mum's partner has his own insurance from his work. But I'm not allowed to be that additional person on my mum's insurance so that we can save some money, get some money back from private healthcare appointments because I'm her child. Like, make it make sense. It's like the whole melatonin isn't great unless you've tried it before and it has worked. And it's like, how would I try it before to tell you if it's worked or not when you won't give it me? You won't give it me. You won't give it to me. And this is why everyone's going fucking private for every little thing. And nobody on the NHS gives a shit about what any of your private doctors say because they're a private doctor and they just tell you to go fuck yourself. I'm just fucking exhausted. I am. I am so tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't. But I will because I would. Right, this is, I'm in business here. But I'm sticking around because if the government and everything they let happen is going to do nothing but make my life and the life of everybody else's lives, that wasn't a sentence, make everybody else's life hell as well, just to attempt to access basic necessities like food, housing, warmth, clothes, healthcare. I am going to be a thorn in the arse of the government. I will. And that's why I also work in research, healthcare research. Because I am unhinged. Like, I do not accept it. I do not accept the way the world is. I do not accept the way the UK is. It's been better, and it can be better. And I don't fucking believe no one who says it can't and has a defeatist fucking attitude about it. You can be an angry little shite like me and still be hopeful for the fucking future, you know? Like, okay, you want to make me fucking suffer? I'll make you suffer, bitch. I'll do anything I fucking can. I will. I will do everything I fucking can, mate. I promise. I promise you. Anyway, I suppose I've been sat here for nearly an hour. That's enough. Ignore my autistic hypermobile dinosaur claw grip, chicken grip thing. But if you can, go and book a booster. If you want to get a COVID booster, I'll link the link below. Some places ask you for proof, some of them don't. But also I give you permission to lie. I give you permission to lie. You can lie. What? Who said that? But that's it from me this week. Come back next week. I might rant again about something else. You don't know. You don't know. Sometimes I have fun. Sometimes I have fun. Don't know why I raised this to my face when I didn't make any noise. I mean, like, in videos, I feel like you can't really see my wrinkles. So, like, those are definitely worse in real life. Like, I look like I don't need Botox, girl, but I don't know. I could kind of do it a little bit in my forehead, honestly. Get rid of them ploughed fields. The ones just like my father had. Disgusting.
yeah, I can't think of a video off the top of my head for you to go and watch. So, what was a recent video I made? Oh, my journal's like all the way over there. I can't reach it. So, yeah, go and watch this video for reasons dub over. I'll dub over myself. Go. Oh, it'll be the wrong way around actually, because I'm on iMovie. Go and watch this video where I'm talking to you about the assisted dying bill and benefit reforms in the UK and how all of them are honestly bullshit and is part of an obviously fascist government. Everything sucks. I hate it here. But go watch that video. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to watch other videos of mine. It helps support the channel and me. I'll see you next week. Bye.